Mauricio, man. What up?
Hey.
What's good,
What's
man?
happening?
I
What's
thought you weren't
happening, man?
coming through.
Man, shout out to the boxing voice, man, the voice of the streets. You know, if I'm out here and I'm getting in it, you know it's gonna be on the boxing voice, man. What's happening?
What up, BH?
What up?
Is
What
that
up?
Danny? Is that the ring walk himself?
Yes,
You
sir. Yes,
dig, man?
sir.
Shout out,
Shout
blessings,
out to
man.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
S-
I'm just sitting cooling by the pool. You know, you see, I got on that what
WBC?
Jay-Z? Yeah, but what's the color? What we say it is?
Mauve.
Mauve. Yeah, you know what
You
I mean?
bet. As
Yeah,
soon as you
yeah,
said Jay-Z, I knew where you was headed
yeah.
with it,
You know
BH.
what I
It's
mean? Yeah,
mauve. Yeah,
yeah.
I
I'm
know
on
about that.
Mauve. Yeah, WBC. Yeah,
well,
you
since
dig?
you
So,
bring up the shirt, we gonna jump right into the business. I feel like I don't like the way that they handled the situation. So I want to just hear it from you as the manager and trainer of Devin Haney. Do you agree with your son being placed in champion in recess, and then if he wants to fight for that 135-pound title again, he's gonna have to do a 50-50 split. I
well,
feel like you guys have fought for the WBC every title they have. You started
From the
in
youth.
Mexico from youth titles to regional titles to interim titles to full titles to unifying their titles to undisputing their titles.
And
It's a little weird.
now fighting for a title in another division as well.
Yeah, so it makes it a little
and
weird that they wouldn't give you the Canelo treatment. Canelo's being allowed to fight. They created an interim title for Benavidez. So these are things I want you to bring up with Mauricio because I don't understand why this took place.
well, one thing is, I said not only am I, wearing the mauve WBC shirt, uh, shout out to Mauricio and the WBC family, um, and no shade to the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, as well as Ring. And if I could wear a shirt right now and it had every one of them on it, I would. But in particularly today, being that you know what I mean, we didn't just come up. I think it was the 60th commemoration of the WBC. A lot of decisions have been being made. Um, I think, and I definitely do not want this to overshadow in any way the great fights that's being put on. And shout out to every platform that's been making it happen. The champions that are getting in the ring and doing it. So to answer your question, business is business, and that's what I tend to hear a lot lately. Um, we I'm a firm believer in Allah. Allah knows best. Alhamdulillah. It gives us the opportunity to show what a real champion does, a real businessman. And I always say I'm so happy and pleased to be in the Devin Haney business. And going back to business being business, when something happens and it's negative and the people see it, because I always say Devin is the people's champ, and I always tell everyone be very careful when going into business with Devin and how you do him, because the people will perceive it in a negative way. One thing about us, we done honored every bet. We done honored everything. We've been every champion in the WBC. So when you say that, and we've done a lot of things, and easily segue on into another topic, but I want to give everybody a teaspoon at a time. That's why I'm very careful, because I don't want to skip over and you miss something. So by it being business is business, I'm not complaining. I'm rolling with it, and I'm saying is, if it's equal to everybody else, then we're gonna get down and we're gonna outperform them. We've never not honored a contract or agreement or none of that. You know, um, Devin is now taking advantage of what it means to be an undisputed champion and to go up and be a two division undisputed champion. The WBC and Devin pushed up on Regis Prograis. In life, you can't have it both ways. it came down to, what do you want to do? What's on the table? What's on the board for us? Who's raised their hand? Regis Prograis consistently said that if Devin Haney chooses to pick him, it's the hardest route. It's the place where you got to go up and wait, which historically the champions that are now champions didn't go straight up and then fight a champion. Um, through the WBC, we applied pressure on Lomachenko. Historically, this was a weekend that Nesnim was there, and through that pressure, right? Lomachenko, I put the warrant out for him. He was caught. It took some time, but everybody knew, right? Going into that fight with the WBC and Lomachenko have an opportunity to have his dream and Undisputed, he fell short to me, not only on effort, but skills. I know that the fight was not as close as what the media tried to depict it as. I know it. I know through doing business with them, and I know the narrative. I know he hasn't lost. Lomachenko has never lost. He's never came out and said him or his team. So that's more on the negative side of things. Let's get back to the positive in the WBC, because we like to talk about all the negative. And when you have a firm belief in God, you know that things happen for a reason. All these things and all these scenarios that I'm sure Danny and you, Ness, can speak of. But why not say they were places of injustice, and not say that these now were places for us that we stood up, Ness, and we showed that Devin is not only the best young fighter in the world inside the ring, but both outside the ring, by having all the belts, by having the responsibility of the belts, but also having the opportunity to go up and pick Regis Prograis, right? Each time, Brian Garcia, he was a WBC interim champion where he had an opportunity. You had Shakur Stevenson, he had an opportunity. Um, so I don't want to come and at all be negative. I want to come in and highlight all of this phenomenal things that's going on in boxing.
So you not upset?
Do I look like I'm upset, Ness?
Nah,
Why
you
would you
got a
ask
lot
a
of palm
question?
trees back there. You can't be
Yeah,
upset
why
with all
would you?
them palm trees.
That's what I'm saying is, how could, I mean, Ness, come to with another harder question, because I only come to the boxing voice to the streets, or let somebody on to say something. You dig what I'm saying?
All right.
Because
Well, the harder
you
question
pick
on
a
the
flow
harder
right now.
question, the harder question is, do you want to talk about Shakur? I know you guys are taking the Devin, the
Ness, I
Regis.
don't listen. What I want to do never supersedes or take precedence of what the boxing voice and what the fans want to know in the questions. And I never
All right. Well, we're
disrespect
gonna go
or
straight to the questions. We
dig
got
what I'm saying?
Benitez boxing.
Yeah.
Bill, as a parent trainer of your son, at what point do you throw in the towel? If hypothetically your son was Earl in that fight against Crawford, sooner than later? Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Great question. And that's a question that lies within the trainer and the fighter, and hopefully the parent and the fighter. And in Mr. Spence's case, with them, it lies within them. And what's
He got a call. He'll be back. Smash that thumbs up. Go ahead and share this on your social media. We're live with the undisputed
Lightweight trainer manager.
Bill Haney. You back, Bill?
all right? Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm back. I'm back. Like I never left. Yeah, that lies within the
Another call. Very
Busy
popular.
man.
Very popular.
Busy
Very
man.
popular.
Busy man.
Very
Shout out to
popular.
Bill for taking time out of his day to join us
Word.
on the morning show.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hopefully, we get him back here
Ooh,
momentarily.
totally gone. That must be an important call. In the meantime, in between
We do
time,
have a few super chats. Karma Serene, $5. Whether or not Loma admits to the loss, the
uh,
L is still on his record.
we got you.
Bill,
Hello.
We got
Yeah,
you.
you got
Yes.
you hear?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, hey, so yeah, that's a responsibility and a question that lies between the trainer and the fighter, and in that case, uh, Earl Spence Senior as well. And I seen him standing right there with his son, and that's the way the stuff goes. And to see that, and to see his arm around him, you know what I mean? Man, that's a boxing match. He's been boxing all his life. If you hear about him, tell you he'll say he learned it in a rough gym in Mexico, and he done got his butt whooped a bunch of times. You dig? One thing about the Spence family and the Crawford family, they got together and made a big event happen. They put their lives on the line, and they did a great job doing it, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to both teams. And we were talking about the father and son of Earl Spence, and him. Not no trainer in the world can, shout out to Derek James, who might have been taking a hit for not being there. But at that particular time, that was his daddy's job. And Pop stood in there strong in it. You dig what I'm saying? And they went home. And hopefully that he's healthy. And they taking care of them babies on that ranch over there, and stuff, and they doing their thing, man. It was beautiful. Gives me chill bumps. It's not a whole lot of times that it's being highlighted, the success that a black family has experienced. And they're really they're really an example of black excellence and a black family, man. You know what I mean? And you say, okay, well, where is Derek James at? Because if Derek James was there, they say, well, where's the daddy at? You know what I mean? So
right.
to see him stand in that gap, man, for black fathers around the world, and be an example, and them to leave the tilt, leave there and head back to the tilt with them.
Oh, and he got another call, but he's back.
Hey, listen, let me just tell you, my phone gonna keep on ringing, right? Charges, all
Nah, this what you do
charges
if you
was
want.
dropped
If you
against
only if
Devin.
you want to,
Devin,
Bill. Only if you want to. If you swipe up,
what?
put do not disturb, then swipe back up, and the calls won't interrupt. It shouldn't interrupt anyway, but you don't have to.
Okay, well, it's in particularly a very great, a nice day, alhamdulillah, you know what I'm saying? Like any other day, but in particularly today, live, I'm getting it that all charges were dropped against Devin in related to the gun case. You know what I mean? So, all
That
praise
was
to
a
God.
very unfortunate situation, man. But
Right,
I'm
which
glad
and which
I'm
God,
glad that it
which
worked
God
out the
doesn't
way
make
that
any
it
mistakes.
did.
Absolutely, and God doesn't make any mistakes, and he's uh he's who he is. You know what I mean? He's who he is, and you know, let's let's continue to root for champ.
For sure. I have now Ryan Frazier in Canada. Do you see Devin fighting at 147 before his career is over?
Yes,
All right. I have,
inshallah. God willing.
God willing, you said. I have James Valdez in San Antonio, Texas. Yes, I'm sure you've heard how Timothy Bradley says fathers should not be allowed to be in their son's main trainer. What are your thoughts on that insane statement from Mr. Bradley, and who at the end of his career had his wife as his boxing manager?
Well,
Oh,
I mean, we've known that they've, huh? Yeah, I've known. Um, just kind of the story on, Mr. Bradley and Timothy Bradley, and just the heights that they've risen as just, once again, I say it's just being a black man with a son, and to get Timothy Bradley to where he is, it takes a whole lot of sacrifice on the family altogether, and to then, I think, put everybody into one thing as they shouldn't be together. It's some trauma along the way that the Bradley family has experienced, but I don't think that it should reflect what we as a people, blacks as families, are trying to move the direction. So I think that the statement was baseless. It was counterproductive to what really represents us as a people as a whole, because we all want better, and we all want to do better. And for him to say that, is just probably irresponsible. One thing that what he has to do, um, before he can make a statement like that, is to volunteer as much time and experience he has to the fathers and sons that are out there doing it. Because it takes a community, it takes a village, it takes a team to pull this shit off. So um, some teams that we're doing as much as we can, and we just might need a Timothy Bradley to come on board to take it over the top. And I don't say that to say that we need Timothy Bradley. I'm just saying, with due respect, that before you can pass judgment or down anything, you have to look at the mirror and see how you're trying to help it.
So, Bill, before I move on to the next question, I want to show you this tweet. Obviously, this is Regis Prograis tagging your son saying, "What's taking so long to sign your part? I hope you're not starting to get cold feet now." And he put the, what is that, a pen, hourglass, and he tagged Eddie Hearn as well. This was August 2nd.
Yesterday. Now
So,
we saw Devin at the Top Rank show here in Vegas on Friday to announce the fight with Regis and announce the move up to 140 pounds. Can you give us any confirmation? Is it set for October 28th right here in Vegas?
Well, the fight is even more set than it is now, because, believe it or not, we were hearing certain questions about the case, and where it's sat and where it was. Devin being an undisputed champion, of course, when there's been other athletes, but they are not really champions. It always takes a different hit or a different statement that needs to be made, or a different approach in the conversation, whether Devin was the WBC champion or him being the undisputed champion. So I'm happy that that part of any of the conversation is now put to rest, that the charges were dropped against Devin. And, you know, Mr. Regis Prograis knows that we have a fight that we'll be announcing. And it's not my responsibility. Although that's a highlight, that's good. I would love to come and say the date and come and say the place, but that's not my job. They don't want me to do that, but they did not stop me to come and say that it's happening. For surely, Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney is happening.
So were you was the way has the contract been signed or was or was the case the hold up with the contract?
No, no, not at all. It was it was language in there that meant, obviously you have to put language in there that now can be taken out of the contract. So it's just.
mm,
Uh-oh.
Carl, that's the lawyer. Yo, you saying way too much.
That's John. Hopefully we get BH back. I did want to, bring that up just because uh there's been a lot of questions since Regis put out that tweet yesterday evening and BH is back. We
Hello.
All
got
right.
you.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Hey, hey, listen. Boxing voice. Ness, Danny. All charges are dropped on Devin Haney and his gun case. We are now serving the warrant on Mr. Regis Prograis. out of that New Orleans. He's a bad motor scooter. I'm not playing about it. We've been looking for him. The fight is happening. It's going down. Um, Regis asked for it. Devin went looking for him. Uh, and that's all that I can say.
How good of a move up in weight is this for your son? You know, there've been claims since, I guess, since you were trying to make a Javier Fortuna fight with Samson Lewikovic, he has been claiming that Devin can't make weight. Do you what do you foresee for Devin in terms of him being at 140, having more power, being happier all altogether? What do you see?
All of the above. I see all of the above. That's been Devin's only weight class that he's been in his entire career. Obviously, uh, a fighter. Um, grows, can outgrow the weight class, but it takes time to do what Devin did at the 135-pound division. Make it no mistake. He said it wasn't easy to make the weight. He did it. He did the fights that he was supposed to do, and he's going on to 140. And to be challenging the 140-pound champion, the number one guy in the division, arguably was in a fight um, with Josh Taylor that was extremely close. Um, you
Two-time
know,
champion.
two-time champion. This is one more big step, big old bite that Devin is attempting to chew. And no matter what the people say about it, Devin has set out to be great. He wants to be mentioned amongst the greats. So we stay focused. There's only one person that we're looking at right now, and that's Regis Prograis.
I got Huang in Houston that says Tio will be Devin's toughest fight, but it will also be Tio's toughest fight. Do you think that's a tougher fight than Regis Prograis?
Shit, you can't look for no other tougher fight. You can only look at Regis Prograis. When you're taking a look at him, it's one thing, but once you sign to fight either one of them, it becomes a tough task. Either way, it will be a tough task with Regis Prograis. But one thing that Devin does as a champion is he makes a tough task look easy. So that's what I expect with him. You know what I mean? To deal with the adversity of another southpaw, um, deal with the awkwardness of Mr. Prograis, the power of Mr. Prograis, deal with all of them. But put nothing aside. Um, Regis, he's a bad motor scooter.
I got
Bill, I just gotta ask. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody sent it to you. Not sure if you've seen Regis's comments. Regarding the fight, saying that he feels Devin is looking for a protection plan, and that he's gonna knock him out. Just your thoughts on his comments.
Um, Devin listens to the people, and you know what? He's a people's champ, and his way of thinking is sometimes um, it's shit, man. I just got to say it. Dev do shit that other people wouldn't do. He does it over and over again, like going to Australia, not once but twice, and then fight Lomachenko to become undisputed. Right? We didn't get no percentage to go overseas to fight uh, George Kambosos, and we had a belt. We didn't get a percentage the second fight. You know what I'm saying? No percentage the third fight. What I told them, I said, this will be a fight for independence. This will be a fight that we then could go dictate and pick what destiny is for Devin. That's to go to be a champion, a two-time champion, to then look to unify, to look to be undisputed. It's one more step. And being able to Devin make that decision to go up through the WBC by him being a WBC champion and give Regis Prograis no way out. You know what I mean? Um, it's both great business on Devin, but it's also a extremely big challenge, man. It's something that, once again, like with him driving this thing, that's why he's 24 years old and he's accomplished what he's accomplished. It's because it's Devin. Because sometimes even as fans, family, friends, and everyone, they say, "Oh, you don't need to do this." See, Ness Ness had this thing where when you become champion and you have tough fights, you can take a fight. You know what I'm saying? And I said, Ness, I don't know if that's going to work, Ness. He says, what? See, because I went against him when he were talking about champions to do it. And then Devin came in that position, and I knew I could always call Ness by and say, Ness, you know, we're due one. You know what I'm saying? But I never called Ness on that because
Well,
Devin
we did
is,
have the Maxie Hughes conversation, and look how that
yeah, we
turned
did.
out. Shout
Yeah,
out
yeah,
to Maxie Hughes, man. He's a real one. He did his thing.
yeah. You did. Right, you did. We talk about that. But for Devin, I just said, man, the people, that's not what they want. We started working on Regis program. Regis program know that we started working on him. That's why I went to the fight. He came back and said it was either he looked good or he looked bad. Either way it go, he was where I came to the fight for him. I came to the fight for Teofimo, and his dad came and his dad said
20
20 million.
million.
His dad said 20 million. So I knew then, I said, okay, even if he just has, it's not going to be zero. It's not going to be no respect. You see what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying respectfully, what we're going to go do is, what you're not going to do is go fight Regis Prograis. You're
Mm.
not going to go there and do that. So we got to cross back over and grab this belt out of Regis Prograis that ain't, he's not trying to hold, I mean, he's trying to.
Another
Yes,
call. Busy man, busy man. Smash that thumbs up.
it is,
Share
sir.
the show because we got Bill Haney on,
Yeah,
and he's back.
yeah. Yeah. No, he ain't trying to. Regis is not trying to let that motherfucker go at all. You know what I'm saying? It was a fight for him back and to get to be a two division. That's why this fight is a fight that the real boxing heads know. And if you know somebody that's not a real boxing fan, well, then this is the fight that you tell them to come watch. This is the one that you tell them that we're gonna sit down and chop up and dissect. You know, so to come out of a fight with Lomachenko, then to go into a fight with Regis Prograis, I just commend and have a whole lot of respect and admiration for my son and the plays he's calling.
Bill, so is this a one fight, no rematch for either? Like, does Regis have a rematch if you win? Or are you guys signing a 3-fight deal with Matchroom?
No, this is a winner take all. Um, you know, it's like I always say in business, doing good business is if it works, it works. Um, you know, if it works with Matchroom after this, if it works with you know, PBC, or if it works with uh, Top Rank, you know, or if it works all together, working together, either
So
or,
it's
you know,
one fight, no rematch.
it's one fight, winner take all.
All right. Well, the next question from the people is Grandin Embry. Did Tank's team or anyone from Tank's team really send Devin a contract for a fight?
No,
Brand
Was hold on.
doubling up.
Did they ever reach out, Bill?
no, no.
Mm. Danny thought he knew something.
Nah,
Tip,
nah, nah. I'm just curious, generally.
tip.
Up there
We
goes
lost
Bill
him
again.
again. He got another call. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button while we wait for Bill Haney to join us and get to Tip Bellis's questions. These questions are not from random people. These questions are from our most loyal Patreons and YouTube members. You must be a patron or a member to get this off. As you can see, we're not even asking our own questions. We're going straight to your questions. Bill did get a call, so we shall return to him when he comes back.
In the meantime, let me see if there's any
There should
super
be
chats.
some super chat love while I give out this poll and
We
you get
got
that.
Yep, I got it pulled up.
And he's back.
And we'll get back to that.
Word. All right.
Hey, hey, Ness,
I'm listening.
man, look, it's just one. It's one of them times. You know, I sit here and normally I cook all day with you, but the major news is Devin has all the charges have been dropped. So I gotta go to work um, on that part of it, and then, like I say, tighten up now the his signature with the fight with Regis, because all terms and everything have been agreed on in principle. So I'm gonna knock out that business, um, and yeah, man, it's a great day, man. Did you have any? Did you have any fastballs that I missed or something?
I
Hard
mean,
balls.
so what was the name of the person I was gonna go to next?
Oh,
Tip Bella said, did Dev and Tio go into negotiation talks after the Twitter dispute?
No, Devin and me and Top Rank talked about after Regis Prograis, um, maybe that Teofimo will be on there, but nothing. We've not talked about any numbers. We've not talked about whether Tio would go for it. I mean, um, we've talked about it in the past, but after this fight, I'm sure that that's what Devin is going to want to do, is unify.
Man, it's some of these that is like I know the answer to, so I don't want to waste the time. This one is obviously left field. It won't happen. I'm not gonna ask that. All right, so yeah.
I believe that it's more appealing and more enticing to the people as a unification for with Devin and Lopez. The fight for Devin is to go do what nobody else was going to go do, is go take that title out of Mr. Regis Prograis. And it was all quiet and everybody was whispering. I don't care what happened when I saw Mr. Prograis. I know that I was there, and you thinking and you saying that I'm judging that. No, I've looked at you your whole career. I've looked at you. I know you're a bad motor scooter. That's what's going to make it even more paramount when Devin comes. The warrant has been served for you, and you will be, and the execution date will be announced. But Mr. Prograis, you know what's happening. Stop with the tweets and get in the gym. This shit is cracking. You represent a great sense. You got great people. Them New Orleans, down there in New Orleans. Shout out Mac Main them. You know what I mean, with Young Money. You know who I was sitting next to, Yellow Beezy and all them. They really behind you. Mac Main said he got $1 million on you. You know what I mean. So you better deliver. You know.
Uh,
Yeah.
that is so I got one we could definitely get to because it's just a statement is coming from my man Optimus Prime, pound for pound support. He says, no question, Bill, just wanted to say thank you for showing love to TBV and the community. It's only like three more, but I know you're not gonna really answer
Well,
them. None of
since,
these are answerable for you at the moment.
no, since he dropped it on 11/11, thank you, brother. And, I'm going to stick around. Come on, though, Ness.
All
Pitch
right.
him fast, man. Come on.
We got Brandon in Houston says, I understand the WBC claims to operate on a case by case basis, but do you think that the optics would be better in public eye for them if they just abided by their own rules and stopped making special concessions in favor of some fighters, and rather than showing a refusal to do so for others?
Hey, don't you love all your kids? But everybody say that you're showing favoritism. Shout out to the WBC. Keep making those tough decisions. I know that was one of the tough decisions to make. You know what I mean? But in fairness, when you get all of the belts and then you give somebody action at all of the belts, it's no longer 50-50. Not only did we travel, two fights and fought Lomachenko to become undisputed, but when you talk about one sanctioning body and you say that they're, they can order a fight for 50-50, no, you can't, because you're not ordering an undisputed fight. You're ordering a fight for a WBC title. And
Right.
that has always been something that Mr. Stevenson and his team have not publicly acknowledged when it comes to making a fight,
Negotiations.
to
Mm.
negotiating it. You know what I mean? And I don't never want to come out publicly and they say, oh, BH, he did something to blow it. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying it and letting you know out the door that never in the world in the years can can 50-50, can you be undisputed? And then for a challenger, you have a 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
when we talked about being undisputed, we had to travel across the street and sign to Lou DiBella. We didn't ask him that he signed to us, that he signs to anybody. We had to sign to Lou for 2 fights, 3 fights, whatever. That's Cambosos's promoter. So I mean, we hadn't been in the business with Lou in any way up until then. We did it to become undisputed, and even though business people said it's dead, don't do it. It's not. You know what I mean? He did it. They said you will get robbed in Australia. You will get robbed in Australia. You will get robbed from Lomachenko. So then they said, but if you get all the belts and you do all that, it's going to mean something. I said to um, the Stevenson team, what's the price? Because you only get a price. You keep saying about this 50-50 shit, you get a price. You don't get to say to an undisputed champion, give me a percentage. You only get a price. So when they kept going back and forth that they couldn't come up with a price that it would take, and on the opposite, um, um, this guy Teofimo Lopez and Senior, they're talking about 20 million, but they don't have a price, but they want 50-50. That's a clear indication to me that you don't want to make it happen. So you go back and you say, well, I'll have one belt, say, give you 50-50, but then what about all the other belts? So it wasn't a matter of, and Devin, of course, says give him 25%. I'm saying 20, how could you give him 25% of the shit when we just had to go sign with these people? We had to do all this and all that. And Dev, you had the WBC, you was a WBC champ, and you're gonna offer that. Sure enough, I told him, I said, Dev, see, he said you spit in his face by saying 25%. Man, the man don't want to make the fight. The man came back again and said 50-50. But how can an undisputed champion be 50-50 to a challenger? He never came back and said nothing else. So respectfully to their team, the way that they do business, and I got an ultimate respect for them and Jay and all that. What we said was, when the time is right, it's gonna happen, right? So I respectfully say, well, the time ain't right if one of the fighters isn't being treated the way they supposed to be treated. You know what I mean? The position that they in, with no disrespect, because I done learned a lot. I done learned a lot from Jay. You know what I'm saying? I got him on speed dial. You know, bro, he answered the phone. He hit me with all this shit. So we didn't got to the top. I ain't gonna disrespect and say it's no, it's not no other kind of business other than what they want to do and how they doing it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I done learned so much from him. I know the position that we're in as well. So I chose to lay back, you know what I'm saying, and negotiate and politic with one of the baddest, you know what I'm saying, bosses out the South. You dig? On this whole thing, this thing. But ultimately, what he agreed to, and this is what was cold and sharp about Jay, is Jay agreed that it's up to Shakur, just like I agreed that it's up to Devin. So this is where we at, baby. You know what I'm saying? A wonderful time in boxing.
Just three more. Ryan Frazier says, "What is Devin's end goal with boxing?"
Well, when you talk about mentioning being amongst the greats, well, hey, didn't Terrence Crawford just push that envelope, baby? You know what I'm saying? This is boxing. This is all beautiful, man. Shout out to him and that amazing job he done in Bomac. You know what I mean? To see the great Bomac. We put the name because he got the two of them. We got to give him the great Bomac. Then said, it was easy, B. It was easy. I said, I just tickled the shit out of me, right? To be at that level and to hear him kick the game and to be that relaxed and that composed, shout out to him and that team. But ultimately, right now, you're seeing history within itself, and you're seeing Devin go right behind the Crawford team and chase. Ultimately, what that is two-time undisputed champion of the world.
I gotta ask this. I don't know if maybe you the best person to ask, but Tio upset Loma. Then he upset Taylor. Like I ain't have him beating Taylor. I don't know if you did, but Danny convinced the shit out of me. We went for
And
Taylor.
yeah. Me and Ringwalk was chopping this shit up. We already knew. You know what I'm saying? We knew that that Josh had a bad will. You know what I'm saying? He got a bad will, man. He
So
had a
that
flat.
being said,
Yeah,
though, do you think T.O. could move up to 47 and challenge Terrence Crawford? You know he's the WBO champ. He's been a WBO now at 35, WBO at 40. He could activate that WBO status and ask to fight Terrence. Not to say Terrence
hey,
will say yes, but hypothetically, he says yes. Is that a good fight or a bad fight?
listen, leave Terrence Bud Crawford alone. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, he was at the top of the pound for pound list before y'all gave him the grams. Before you decided to say, is he the best fighter in the world? Danny Ness, did we not already have him as the best fighter in the world?
He been on the pound for pound list for over 8 years.
God damn. Listen, that's what I'm saying is. So what the hell? You,
410 weeks.
yeah. So what the hell? You know, if now the best thing that what they can do is Crawford, he's 35 years old, right? Devin is 24 years old, right? He's a different era. Alhamdulillah, because Crawford, anybody that's got to see Crawford, boy, you got your work cut out for you. You dig?
Mm.
Period. I said, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all first. Crawford can go up and get Canelo right now.
Well, he said he don't want to go that high,
And wait,
He know
but
I told. He know I told him. Whenever he do decide to do it, he know I told him. In the locker room, I said, boy, I said, you bad. I said, nigga, you can get Canelo. He was, huh? I said, boy, you can listen. I seen the size, but Canelo got these big bricks though. He got some hands. So I know them things be hard as hell, but Terrence strong too. Terrence exceptionally strong. So his strength can equal on Canelo level. Then you got the speed with Terrence. You see what I'm saying? Because Terrence really be handling. He dead bodyguard picked him up. Boom. I'm like, ooh. I said, ooh, shit, Terrence strong as shit. That's when I knew. I was like, that's gonna be. And they were saying that Earl was gonna come in strong, but Terrence is exceptionally strong. Like, you know, as per se, they box well and all that. He boxes well, but he's an exceptionally strong. So
damn, Bill. So does Dev got to get some work with him? Because Cole been getting work with Buff for a long time. Iron
yeah, yeah,
sharp as iron. That's what I've been told before I got in this sport.
yeah, but Devin was a baby around no other than the great Floyd Mayweather Sr., Roger Mayweather, Floyd Jr., we've been getting this shit for so long, man. Eddie, we've been getting this shit where it goes back, man, to the beginning, you know what I mean? That it's ingrained in Devin's muscle memory. I hear what you're saying, but that's Core has a great opportunity with with him. But with Dad was with Floyd when Floyd was number one, when he was on pound for pound. We was getting this shit. So we understand the process. What we can do is salute it and say, man, they're doing a great job over there.
I got to ask you one more fantasy question. I've been making Tank to be this generation's Roberto Duran. There's a lot of parallels. Can Tank move up two divisions and fuck with Bud, or is it the same answer? I mean,
Man, Tank,
he said he can knock him out in 6. He said he got a glass shield. Like it ain't like he ain't talked the talk before.
man, Tank got the power to go up to heavyweight
Whoa.
and be You know what I mean? He has that kind of power. You know what I mean? He done flatline big niggas. You know what I mean? Forever, legendary, whether it be in the ring or whether it be on the streets. So when you talk about can he do it? Yeah, he definitely can do it. It's how can it get done? How will he be able to do it with someone like Terrence Crawford? And that will be a tall task, and by far, uh, it would be like Evil Knievel when he jumped over the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean? You
But it
can't. You
happened.
Bob Arum promoted it.
okay? Okay. So I'm. That's what I'm saying is you never put anything past um, uh, Tank and his ability. I always say that Devin is the best of the lightweights, but Tank might be one of the most exciting of the lightweights. Um, can it happen? Yeah. That's why I always said anyone that's talking about going up in there with Tank, and you see Devin is with Regis, but you don't hear Ringwalk Danny calling for Shakur and Devin. Shakur didn't call you, and Shakur and Tank. Ringwalk didn't get the call saying let's get on Tank's helmet, but guess what? Ringwalk didn't call and ask, is it cool if I start saying something about Tank because now the Devin is, you feel me, is, well, Tank, Kenny, um, Calvin, didn't the coin toss go and Shakur, what did it land on, Danny?
Yeah, it did land on Shakur, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did it? No, I'm asking, did it, Danny? It
Yeah,
landed on,
yeah, yeah. It landed on
so what's
Shakur, if I remember
what,
correctly.
what's happening with the fight, man? Let's keep this shit rolling, man. Let's boxing keep rolling and making big fights, man. What's happening, Ringwalk?
Nah, let's make them
I mean,
happen.
I mean, they trying to make Loma versus
Yeah,
Shakur.
it seemed like that's
That's
what's
in
next.
house. That's
It
in
seemed like
house.
that's what's
No,
next. That's
no,
what the
that's
WBC.
not in-house, nothing. No, ain't no in-house. We done already knocked down all the walls and all the houses. Ain't no in Ain't no street, ain't no in-house, ain't no nothing. Let's get back to making these big fights and keep continuing giving the boxing world what they want to see. You know what I'm talking about? And let's not create these narratives now. It's a side of the street. Well, if it's a side of the street, then what was y'all doing talking anyway?
Nah,
What no
y'all
talking?
been crossing all types of streets and highways and
Yeah, but
seas and
it's not easy. You got to navigate. Like you see,
Yeah,
you had to
yeah,
get into a 3-fight deal to do it.
yeah, like you big, tall, and light skinned and driving that vet. You got to navigate through shit because it's a lot of pitfalls, a lot of haters. in the way.
I got DMD. He says, how would a fight with the monster and Nue look against the Dream Money Haney?
Hey man, listen, that's another great fight for Tank Davis that
No,
they're
he
talking.
said you Haney.
Yeah,
He
no,
said Haney.
I know. I'm saying is Tank gonna ring walk? Is Tank because he got that one too? Is it
yeah,
gonna be that
he did say have him move up to 35, y'all.
that have him move up to 35? Oh man, that would be after. Listen, I can't.
No rehydration clause though.
Yeah, I can't look past Regis Prograis at all. But man, to see that fight between a New Way and Tank, that's a good fight, man.
All right, I got Brandon in Houston says Teofimo originally retired due to being underpaid and underappreciated, only to unretire because he thought Devin was going to fight Arnold Barboza for the vacant WBO. Now that that's not going to happen and Devin is fighting Regis, do you think that Teo should re-retire due to being underpaid and underappreciated?
No, what we should allow Tio. He had an excellent performance. Let's keep the good times rolling. He's done good. Of course, he has, like everyone has, um, issues and shit that they have to work out in the street. Well, outside the ring, I should say. But that's like life, right? That's everybody. Everybody. We get a chance to see these athletes and entertainers entertain us, but we know that they're human and they're going through real life issues. So let's celebrate what Tio accomplished, what he continues to do. As far as mental health and just his family and unfortunately divorce and all those stuff. We're just seeing a fighter, stand up to it. And sometimes people say he's crazy, but you at the end of the day, you have to applaud him because a lot of um, black and brown brothers that unfortunately they succumb to the pressure and they go to the streets and go do negative things. So for him to stay on that horse and to keep riding, shout out to him and his family.
Well, those are all the questions, Bill. You did actually. There's one more from Fred Robinson, why does the WBC always try working against Devin Haney?
No, what they do is they show you what other fighters can't do. See, when we're given positions and we're not given allowances, and never did we ever want a franchise. See, we want to show you what you go through when you don't franchise out. You know what I mean? You go through shit. So, and we're happily going through it happily with what uh, things are um, unfolding. You know, we have Regis Prograis. Um, we couldn't have had him an opportunity to be a two-time champ if the WBC hadn't called and told him, hey, man, Devin wants to go in front of Sandor Martin, you know, and they stood on business and gave us the opportunity. So that's why I put on the mauve and came out in the streets. Shout out to the boxing voice and giving me a chance to make it complete.
Shout out to you, BH.
Appreciate you, Bill. Appreciate you. Is the fight pay-per-view or is it free on the zone as a subscription?
Let me do the let them do the honor and do the complete announcement, but let me, stimulate the fans as much as I can in terms of letting them know it's on and cracking. You know what I mean? Let's get ready to close the winter out, or let's have fun in the fall and know that we got a hell of a super welterweight fight on our hands.
Super lightweight.
Well, I mean, excuse me, light welterweight. Excuse me.
Light welterweight, yup.
Light welterweight. Thank you for correcting me, Danny.
Well, Bill, man, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you for answering everybody's questions here from the community. And yeah, man, tell Dev keep doing his thing.
Shout out at Real Devin Haney all the time on all platforms. And you know where you can catch me. You know what I mean? On top of your helmet when you say the wrong thing at the wrong time. But it then got to the place that you got to be somebody. You can't just be nobody. You dig? Shout out to Boxing Voice, man, for letting me come on
Appreciate
and
you, Bill.
keep it
Shout
real.
out, BH.
All right. Peace.
Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gents.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content, or right here on our YouTube members.